Okay, this video is going to be about finding slope from a graph. If you have not completed this homework assignment, then this is your opportunity to understand. Or if you had difficulty, then this is what you can use to help understand. So remember that the slope of a line is a number that helps you understand how steep the line is. So you can find the slope of a line by dividing the change in y or the rise by the change in x, which is also the run. We're going to be doing this, a lot of this for next week, but slope is change in y over change in x, and this is when you're given your points. So this is rise over run. So this is the example that we went over, and I believe this was earlier in the week, where you pick 2 points on the line that are easy to identify. And then you're going to number them or letter them, identify it. So they picked point A and they identified it located at -1, 0. And then they picked point B, which is located at 3, 2. So I have x3 and then up 2. Then we have the rise over run, and this is, we're trying to figure out the slope. So we need it to move from point A to B from 2 points going up and to the right. So I started at this point here and I moved up 2. So I rise 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that becomes my rise over run, which is simplified to 1 over 2. Now let's take a look. Let's look at this first one. I want to identify 2 points on my graph. So I have a point here and a point here. So I'm going to call this, now let's say that's my point A. This is located at, we had to find the slope of each line below and then simplify the answer and write it as a proper fraction or an improper fraction or an integer. And then remember that sometimes slopes will be negative. So this will happen if your rise is negative and you move down instead of up, or your run is negative and you move left instead of right. So this is at -4. So A is at -4. It's 0, -4. I don't know what I was thinking. I got slightly interrupted. So sorry about that, guys. So I'm at 0, -4. Then I'm at my next point, and this is B. And so I have this one up here that I can choose. And I'm at 0, 1, 0. Goodness. And it's Friday evening. Okay. All right, now I needed to find my slope on this one. So I'm going to start at my first point here, and I'm going to move upward. I'm in a positive slope. So I'm going to take my next jumps. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4, and I'm going to mark this 4. So I had a rise of 4, and you can write rise right here. And this is over a run of, and now I'm going to run to the right of 1. So this will be rise, the slope, the slope is going to be 4, but I have a rise of 4 and a run of 1. Just to simplify, it's getting late here. To simplify, 4 over 1 is the same as 4. Okay. In case you have that question, do you always need to find the points on there? You are finding the points, but you don't need to get the ordered pair, but it's sometimes very helpful for you to identify. It makes it easier to identify your 2 points. So I hope that explains the question that you may have had. Well, this one crosses right here. It's 0, which is also my y-intercept, right? What's the y-intercept here? If you had to find the y-intercept, yeah, it's going to be -4, right? So I can see that because my line intersects the x. My line intercepts the y-axis. Sorry about that. It's getting late. At -4. Here, my line intercepts the y-axis at 0, 0. So I'm going to use this point here, and I will use, I'll use this point up here. So I found my 2 points. I'm going to write out my rise over run. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to run to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my slope is going to be 3, is rise 3, 4, and run 4. And that's it. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so my y-intersect is slightly, so it's going to be a fraction. It's going to be 4, and it's very small, so maybe a third. Nope, a little bit less. Fifth. So it's hard to tell, but I don't need to know it. I was just wanting y'all to find the y-intercept so that you would start practicing on that part. I'm going to find a point. I have a point here. You can see right there. And I have a point right here. Now I'm going to find the slope. What do I need to do here? Well, first, you're absolutely right. I'm going to write rise over run. I'm going to start at this first point. I can say that this is A, and then this is point B. I'm going up, or moving up 1. So it looks like that my rise is a +1 over, nope, it's not going to be a +1. What is it going to be? It is +1. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is rise 1, run 5. And if you're wanting to draw those lines so you can see it, most definitely are able to. Let's look at this next graph. I can see my y-intercept is right here at 5, so I'm just going to use that one. Here's the next one at 5:15, so I have that one. So I'm going to call this one A and B. So I'm starting at A. I'm writing down rise over run, and let's count. 1, 2. So I rise 2. How much do I run? I run over 1. Okay, so it's 2 over 1, or when I simplify it, it's simply 2. Getting easier? Okay, great. Let's keep going. Okay, so it looks like we've had 2 positives, and now we're moving into a negative slope. So think about what you're going to have as your is the number for slope going to be positive or negative if you have a negative slope? Very good. So we are thinking about a negative slope. I see that right here it's intersected. So I have that one. That's also my y-intercept. Oh, and there's this one right here too. It's at 20, 0. So I have 0, 20, and I have 20, 0. All right, so we'll call this point A and point B. My rise over run. My rise, I need to move down 1, 2. So it becomes a -2. And I'm going to run 1, 2. So it becomes a -2. Not negative, it's positive, right? Because I moved to the right. I didn't move to the left. So I have a rise of -2 and a run of +2. So what is a -2 over 2? Very good. It's 1, or -1 equals -1. And there you go.